Hello and welcome to PMCLounge.com. In this video, we are traveling to Saudi Arabia, one of the most prominent countries in the Middle East, and we are basically going to look at the project manager salaries in Saudi Arabia. So, as a project manager, what can you expect to earn? Does having a PMP matter if you are in Saudi Arabia? Also, questions like, what kind of industry should you work for? What kind of education should you have? In your company, which department should you work for to be able to make the most? Even organizations, right? The size of the organization also matters. Should the company that you work for be a large organization to be able to make the most salary, or can it be a smaller company as well? So you will find answers to questions like these. And every time we do a video on salary, we essentially refer to a PMI report, all copyrights acknowledged, no copyrights infringement intended. Get yourselves your own copy by getting yourselves the PMI membership. It offers loads of benefits, including access to reports like these. We have covered some other countries as well, and I'll share a link in the description below. Check out the first link in the description for the entire playlist. If you want us to cover any specific country, let us know in the comments, right? So when we go to Saudi Arabia, the salaries that we are going to see are going to be in Saudi riyals, and $1 is equals to 3.75 Saudi riyal. So that's something that I wanted to ensure that you are aware of, since all the numbers that you're going to see are going to be in Saudi riyal. So without further ado, let's take a look at some of the numbers for Saudi Arabia. The salary that you can expect working in the project management domain in Saudi Arabia is 200,000 Saudi riyals. Now, this is an annual figure and this is median, because median is closest to reality. Total compensation, which can include some other benefits, bonuses, maybe some deductibles, that comes out to be 217,000 odd. So this is your annual salary as a project manager or someone working in the project management domain in Saudi Arabia. Now, how has the last 12 months been? 58% people who were surveyed said that their salary actually remained the same in the last 12 months. 6% mentioned getting a hike of 5 to 7%, and then 5% each reported 3 to 4% or 10 to 15% handsome salary hike as well. How does the next 12 months look like? 37% people think that their salary is going to remain the same, while 11% each are expecting 5 to 7% and 10 to 15% hike as well. So that's how the salary fluctuates in Saudi Arabia. That's how the last 12 months have been, and that's how the outlook for the next 12 months is. Annualized salary by position description. As you rise up the ladder in the project management domain, you become a specialist. That's someone who joins in new in the project management domain, right? This could be a junior project manager, an associate project manager. This is where you start, and then you rise up the ladder: project manager 1, 2, 3, program manager, portfolio manager, and then the director of PMO. Of course, as you rise through the ranks, your salary is going to increase. There are some anomalies here. As you can see, a project manager 3 is making more than a program manager. And then there are project management consultants, which can essentially be considered as independent of this hierarchy, as consultants do not necessarily tend to become project managers and program managers, right? So the consultant salary is also mentioned here, 200,000 odd. All right, analyze salary by years of work experience. As your work experience increases, your salary also increases. That's pretty much the same as the years worked in project management. As you gain more years working specifically in project management, your salary is also going to rise. Now, what is the kind of education should you have to be able to make the most in Saudi Arabia? And this is important because most of the times we people tend to think that the higher your education is, the higher your salary can be. But we have seen so many countries out there where this is actually not the case. Let's see what Saudi Arabia has to tell. And our initial understanding is actually true for Saudi Arabia, because someone with a doctoral degree, the highest degree in this table, makes the most, followed by master's degree, 4 year college degree, associate degree, and then high school degree. So if you're someone who lives in Saudi Arabia, if you're someone who wants to move to Saudi Arabia for a job, then having a higher degree is going to definitely be helpful, because the higher your education level is, the higher your salary can be. Having a degree in project management and not having a degree in project management doesn't make any difference. So whether or not you have that degree in project management, or you have that degree in some other management or an engineering degree or whatever, it is not going to make a difference as far as your salary goes. But having a PMP certification will definitely make that difference, because someone with a PMP is going to make more than someone who does not have a PMP. So instead of the project management degree, which offers no differentiation at all, it's much better to go for the PMP certification, which offers a differentiation for sure. There is a pay gap which I wanted to basically voice out. Males are making more than females. All right, let's talk about annualized salary by department. Which department should you work for to be able to make the most? Operations and manufacturing pay the most in Saudi Arabia, followed by IT and information systems, and this is followed by consulting. So these are some of the departments that pay the most. And then let's talk about annualized salary by industry. And you might have heard that, resources is the industry, especially when it comes to oil, where Saudi Arabia is most famous for, but they are not necessarily the ones that are paying the most. Actually, financial services pay the most in Saudi Arabia. This is followed by aerospace, and this is followed by real estate. So if you're a project manager in one of these three industries, you could be working for companies that operate in these three industries. You stand a chance to make the most. And remember, there are other factors as well. You can go for the highest degree possible. You can go for some of the departments that we spoke of earlier as well. Annualized salary by number of employees in entire organization. Go for large organizations. So if your organization has 2,500 or more employees, you stand a chance to make the most. Smaller organizations tend to pay less in Saudi Arabia. All right, let's talk about the work culture in Saudi Arabia. How much are you expected to work really? And that's where, when it comes to hours expected, people are actually expected to work more than 40 hours. And this is just the expectation. Someone who's starting off in the project management domain, someone who's just a specialist, or someone who's a consultant, is actually expected to work 5.5 days. And then let's talk about how much people report working. People like project manager 3, portfolio managers, they report working close to actually even more than 50 hours per week. So that's the work culture of Saudi Arabia, something that we should be aware of when we are talking about the salaries that this country offers. So that's all in this one. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye bye.